Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate wears the badge Ultimate proudly, and it is just. The insane amount of work involved, every character returning, and then there are the spirit battles. With over 1,300 current spirits and 1,000 of them being in the form of a battle, there are so many nods to the many franchises that my neck starts to hurt. But it's nearly impossible to understand every spirit battle reference and why they are well thought out and fit that character. Some can be obvious, some are far more obscure. So I'm starting a new series, explaining every spirit battle. Each video will be a different franchise because doing one video for every spirit battle would be insane. There'll be no particular order in what franchises I do one after the other. Just depends on when I get all the footage, as many battles will be random on the spirit board. And I will only be covering the battles themselves, not spirits obtained through summoning and whatnot. Another thing to note, just assume, because it does apply 99% of the time, the costume the fighter is wearing is a nod to the spirit character in one form or another. Mentioning the costume looks like a Spiny over and over again will just get annoying. It's time to eat some wall turkey. This is every spirit battle for Castlevania. The Trevor C. Belmont spirit is represented by Simon as well as Palutena and Sheik, as his companions Sypha and Grant. His third ally in Castlevania 3 was Dracula's own son Alucard, who we get in the form of an assist trophy to complete the group. You fight it out on Dracula's castle as beginning plays, a nice nod to this video being the first spirit we discuss. The Maria Renard spirit is represented by Zelda, along with Falco, Charizard, and Incineroar. These three represent her ability to conjure up Celestial Beast and Rondo of Blood as her offensive capabilities. You fight it out on Reset Bomb Forest, as Zelda will start with a Cucco, meant to represent another Celestial Beast. Slash plays. The Alucard spirit is represented by Simon. You fight it out on his father's home, Dracula's castle. Yes, Alucard is Dracula's son, as I already mentioned, so I don't know why I said it again. But it's as subtle as JD's Dr. Acula, but still kind of works. The Alucard Assist Trophy appears to make your life more difficult during the battle as Dracula's castle theme plays. The Reinhard Schreider spirit is represented by Simon. You fight on Find Me, an ominous looking level, a good place to fight the Warriors of Evil. Simon starts with a killing edge because swords! Actually, this one is a bit perplexing, truth be told. All my research points to him using daggers as his sharpest weapon. He does have the legendary Vampire Killer though, perhaps a sub-weapon I couldn't find similar to the Killing Edge from Castlevania 64. Iron Blue Intentions plays. The Nathan Grave spirit is represented by Richter while fighting on Find Me. The timer item will spawn commonly, and Richter will have increased jump power and even an extra air jump, nodding to the power Nathan gets in the game Circle of the Moon when defeating a boss. Awake plays. The Hughes Baldwin spirit, I always knew Alec had more brothers, is represented by Marth on Find Me. Hughes was not given the Hunter's Whip from his father, as it was given to Nathan Grave, so Hughes trained in the art of sword fighting, so Marth's melee attacks are buff, and he has increased jump abilities. Awake plays. The Just Belmont spirit is represented by Richter while in Great Cave Offensive. The Great Cave could be a nod to the area in Justice game, Harmony of Dissonance, the Luminous Cave. A lava floor is activated, perhaps a nod to Justice of magical abilities, and Richter's speed is buffed, a nod to the dash ability you obtain in the game. Awake plays. The Yoko Belonda spirit is represented by a female Robin. Yoko is a witch who can use magic, just like Robin. Robin's special and magic moves are buffed as you fight on Spear Pillar. This seems to be a nod to the area in the game Yoko hails from, Aria of Sorrow, the Chaotic Realm, as it is a place of distorted space. Dialga and Palkia are Pokemon of time and space and can distort them. Lost Painting plays. The Leon Belmont spirit is represented by Simon. Melee weapons are now buffed up for Simon as Leon used more than the Vampire Killer, as the Vampire Killer had not been forged yet until towards the end of the game, and his fiancée sacrifices her life as she was about to become a vampire, and her soul went into the whip he got early in the game to give it the vampire killing abilities, and my lord, this is really messed up, but it's really good storytelling. You fight on Unova Pokemon League, meant to represent Walter's, the bad guy's, castle. Laminate of Innocence plays. The Julius Belmont spirit is represented by Simon while in Dracula's castle. As the last Belmont to destroy Dracula, chronologically at least, this battle gives Simon buffed up attacks and speed, much like how your character is buffed up right before your final boss fight. Jet Black Incursion plays. The Hector spirit is represented by Robin and Ridley. Ridley represents Hector's ability to command beings known as Innocent Devils, and use them for combat. You fight on Great Cave Offensive, a nod to the area in the game I believe pronounced Ialan Ruins. I probably didn't do that justice. Laminate of Innocence plays. The Jonathan Morris Spirit is represented by Richter and a female Robin, who are from Portrait of Ruins, Charlotte Olin, a witch who also uses magic. You fight on Dracula's castle as throwing items deal more damage. This could be a nod to the fact Morris does start with the vampire killer, as he is a descendant of the Belmonts, but not being in the main lineage, it is not at full power until later in the games, so he has an array of other weapons and sub-weapons to use to fend off evil. Jail of Jewels play. The Charlotte Loon Spirit is represented by Zelda and Richter, who is meant to represent Jonathan Morris, but Charlotte was a female Robin in the battle before. Both Robin and Zelda work, but consistency, people! You fight it out on Bridge of Eldin, as I assume the castle has a bridge to get into it. I couldn't actually find proof, but what evil castle doesn't? And now I should probably expect a long list of what evil castles don't have a bridge in the comments, huh? Bring it on, people! Zelda's special attack is buffed, and she will favor her side special, Den's Fire, meant to represent Charlotte's magical abilities. Hail from the Past plays. The Shinoa Spirit has you facing off against Bayonetta while in Brinstar Depths. Brinstar could represent the various dungeons she travels through. Bayonetta's special moves will have increased powers, and she will get sudden final smashes. This is a nod to her ability to absorb glyphs and gain more power in doing so. Heavy winds plague the stage, a nod to her spell-casting abilities, one of which is summoning a fierce storm. Twilight Stigmata plays. The Gabriel Belmont Spirit is represented by Simon, while on Temple, which probably represents Gabriel's childhood home of the Brotherhood of Light's convent. Simon will favor his side special, Cross, a nod to Gabriel's own combat cross, which would one day become the Vampire Killer. Simon's weapons are buffed and will start with a beam sword, a nod to the Void Sword, a weapon Gabriel uses when he becomes Dracula. I legit had a moment of shock finding out Belmont was Dracula. Cross Your Heart plays. The Medusa's Head Spirit is represented by Meta Knight and 5 tiny Mewtwo's, which are meant to represent her snake hair. You fight on Dracula's castle as your move speed gets nerfed as time goes on, a nod to the head's abilities to petrify you. The enemy will fall slower, a nod to how the heads float around in the games. Stalker Wicked Child plays. The Mummy Spirit is represented by 2 sheiks while fighting on Dracula's castle, a nod to how in the first Castlevania a pair of mummies act as a boss. Sheik is used as, well, she's kind of all wrapped up. It works. The sheiks will have super armor, but move slowly to give the slow mobility feel of the mummies. Their throws are increased in power, a nod to one of their abilities to throw bandages towards you. This stamina battle has Mad Forest playing. The creature in the Flea Man Spirit is represented by a giant Mii Brawler while wearing a hockey mask and a business suit to look the part, and a Diddy Kong-esque Flea Man. Flea Man was originally going to be Igor in the first Castlevania game, but now Flea Man because of legal reasons? I don't know, I'm looking at you, Universal. Anywho, there's a Zap Floor in place, a nod to how lightning is used to bring Frankenstein's monster to life, or known as the creature here because of more legal issues? I'm not sure. You fight on Dracula's castle while Out of Time plays. The Death Spirit is represented by Robin while on Dracula's castle. Robin starts the battle off with Death's Scythe for obvious reasons, and you will not imagine how many takes I've had to say Scythe to get it right. You will be hard to launch, but will take massive damage over time, a nod to Death being a formidable battle in the Vania games. Also perhaps a nod to how Death can strike at any time. Nothing to lose plays. The Carmilla Spirit is represented by a giant Meta Knight, as he has a giant mask as this thing is. You fight it out on Dracula's castle as Meta Knight's defense will go up over time, as that seems common with bosses. And Meta Knight is invisible because that's a head scratcher. Ba-da-ba-cha. I looked into the many incarnations of this character, not just the mask here, and no luck for the reasoning. If you know, let us know in the comments below. Other than it just appears as it was invisible when you walk into the room in Castlevania 2. Maybe? Dwelling of Doom plays. The Werewolf Spirit is represented by Wolf while battling on Luigi's Mansion so Wolf can howl at the moon. Wolf's physical attack and speed are buffed, a nod to how werewolves are much more powerful when in their were form. Is that what it's called? Were form? I mean, there's Werehog, but that from Sonic, but that doesn't make sense. I'm overthinking this. Anywho, Crash in the Dark of the Night plays. The Shaft Spirit is represented by Robin. Robin is invisible, a nod to how after Shaft is killed, he is a ghost and helps Dracula further with his plans, and in one scenario, helps save him. Your speed is reduced as Dance of Gold plays. The Kid Dracula Spirit is represented by Lucas while on Dracula's castle. Man, everyone really did go for the kid thing. Tiny Toons, Yo Yogi, and even Castlevania. And yes, I made you think of Yo-Yogi. Slumber 4 is activated, a nod to at the start of the game, Kid Dracula is waken up from a deep sleep to be challenged by Garamoth. Lucas's melee blows will heal him, a nod to how vampires steal life. Dwelling of Doom plays. And that, my friends, is every Castlevania Spirit Explained, and this series gets dark. I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious with the subject matter, but I never played past SNES, so I really didn't know the half of it truthfully. The lore is rich in this one, and these spirit battles help bring that out to the forefront. And is an example of why I started this series. Without the explanations that were on the trophies, not everyone will understand these characters and their motives and why things are used in these spirit battles. The games have truly come a long way, and I was very happy to get a chance to learn more about this very beloved franchise. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network. What was your favorite Castlevania Spirit? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider helping out on Patreon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm gonna cry a little bit more about how the vampire killer got its actual power to kill vampires. That's just not okay. It's not okay, Konami!